U.S. patent US 6470214B1. Look up Google patent US 6470214B1. Okay? That's https://patents.google.com/patent/US 6470214B1/EN. This is the device for the radio hearing effect. This is the technology developed by the United States Air Force and other government organizations of the United States that can monitor what your eyes see before it reaches your brain, what your ears hear before it reaches your brain. This is the stuff that people have been screaming about on street corners that you will write off comfortably as crazy. This is the hill that I will stand on. Those of you who know me, who know my integrity, who know my honesty, I bank all of that on this. This is a fact. Anyone who challenges the status quo, anyone who challenges the normal, compliant, comfortable American way of life that has been marketed to the entire world, anyone who challenges what is happening, the way things are headed, they get targeted. In fact, we're all targeted because this device is being used, this technology is being used to brainwash en masse the people. Do you ever wonder why people aren't rioting in the streets every day because of how crazy the world is? Because of how fucked up it is that we have a pedophile for a president? It's factual. It's on the books. It's documented. If you think gang stalking is fake, is a crazy thing, look up what eBay did to a small business. It's historic at this point. To deny the truth is insanity. To deny the facts when they're right in your face is insanity. You can call me crazy and you'll be lying. Well, I may be crazy about some other things, okay? But on this point, unfortunately, I'm not. So one day, maybe someday sooner than we think, sooner than we're comfortable with, I hope sooner, maybe it's tomorrow, we'll all wake up realizing that this way of life no longer suits us, that this way of life holds us back from what we actually are, that shame is an illusion, that evil is a lie that we created, and just as easily as we have made that lie, we can unmake it. And just as easily as we've given over our power, our ability to assign meaning consciously to the things that we do and the things that we experience, we can take it back. Take back the meaning from your life. Take it back from the church. Take it back from the government. What you are, you decide what you are and what that means. I don't get to. They shouldn't either. And they sure as shit shouldn't be able to steal consciousness from us. But let me tell you, think about that for a second. I've been calling it long-form eugenics for years now. The shit they put in our foods, the stuff they spray on the planet to keep us from being able to grow real food, the shit they put in the pharmaceuticals, the degradation of the human genome. What if all the shit they do to us mutates us to the point where we no longer technically classify as human. Do we still get to have human rights? Does the Geneva Convention count towards subhumans? World leaders? If most of the population is subhuman, does that mean that that they have any rights at all, or do they just become objects now? Because we've created machines that can probably be conscious. So why don't we just use these people like batteries, huh? They're just slaves now. The Rothschilds want to own our bodies before we're even born into them. Why do you think there's so much fucking debt? Ugh. Imagine being born and you're already in debt because it's inherited, because it's prescribed to you. Because what are we in debt towards anyway? Money is an illusion. The earth gives and gives and gives and gives. No one owns the earth. We're owned by it. Where is there a debt there? Everything that's here, mostly, came from here or from stars. Actually, everything here came from the stars. I came from the stars, so did you. We are stardust, we are golden, and I got to get ourselves back to the garden. Welcome to Garden Earth, tenders. We're not the only ones here. Okay? So we're going to wake up like that one day, and we will realize with real eyes the real lies that we are setting down. Okay? We're going to see ourselves truly for what we really are. We're going to see each other for what we really are. A reflection. When I look at you, I'm going to see me. Because let me tell you something, okay? It's pretty basic. It's old. We all know this. Generally, we should all know this one, okay? Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Hi. Generally, we all look the same and we move through the world in the same way, generally, okay? I want to be warm, safe, dry, fed. I want to feel like I'm a part of something bigger than... I want to feel like I belong. I want to feel loved. I want to feel like I did something important with my life. Don't you? That's a pretty short list of things right there. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, eyes, ears, mouth, nose. Safe, warm, dry, fed. Feel like we did something important. Feel like we have contributed something good. And feel like we're loved and belong. It's just a couple handfuls of things right there. But you know what? I bet every single person on this planet is the same way. Generally. There are no absolutes here. There are absolutely no absolutes here. Okay, but generally, that's what we are. See that? I just mapped the human spirit for you. You're welcome. But it's not just us, okay? Because that format fits other things that are also here. And they're kind of holding back right now because when confronted with something superior or vastly more powerful or smart or advanced than we are or a being is, if they have an amygdala, part of the brain, okay? When confronted with something more powerful, smarter, what have you, advanced, however you want to frame that or look at it, in whichever way offends you the least, because that's how I mean it, okay? I want this to be the least offensive thing possible. Because when we see them, it's going to be really fucking scary, because I've seen them a bunch, okay? It's been happening to me since I was a baby. Before I ever touched drugs or alcohol or anything like that, before I ever went to school, okay, I was picked up and dropped off. Close enough. How does a baby that can't even walk yet crawl out of a crib, out of a second-story window, and be found hours later in the neighbor's yard unharmed And the only portal in and out of the house that was unlocked or open was my second-story bedroom window. I'm not a ninja, baby. I'm a full-grown man now. That was 40-some-odd years ago, okay? Not by my power, but by my power I will tell you what's coming and what we need to do about it, okay? We need to be ready. We need to be able to be terrified and still see ourselves. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose generally. Okay? And see the same spirit. Safe, warm, dry, fed. Feel like we did something important. Feel like we belong. Feel loved. Okay? Scary. Some of these beings are really frightening, okay? But if this is how they're going to introduce themselves to us, they don't mean to hurt us, okay? It might hurt. In fact, I can guarantee you it's going to hurt. I can promise you it's going to hurt. Because when someone is really smart and there's some somewhat less smart people around them and it becomes a little bit obvious, let me tell you, the people who are less smart, they feel real physical pain from that. Even though the smarter person has nothing but good intentions. How do I know this? I've been othered in a lot of really weird ways in my life, and I've hurt a lot of people that I've meant nothing but the best for, and I'm not trying to brag about it, but I'm kind of smart. And it feels gross to even say it. I'm not bragging. It's been a curse, okay? But you can look this up. It's neuroscience, okay? You can look it up, okay? There's a wonderful video on YouTube that you can just, like, look at, like, what it's like the ways in which smart people are othered or cast out. We celebrate so much about what it means to be human. Let's say you're really beautiful. Yay! Let's say you're really strong. That's awesome! Let's say you are really good at sports ball. Yes! But if you're really smart, you hold up a mirror to people and you show them things about themselves that they don't want to see. Whether or not you mean to. So if all of humanity were introduced to an entire race or 5 of our family that just want us to come along and join in the goodness of creation, it's going to hurt. It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to suck. It's going to be really fucking scary. Let me tell you, it's scary. It's really scary. It's really scary. But I'm okay. Mostly, generally, I'm okay. I'm not okay with what's going on this planet. I'm really not okay. I'm not okay with the people who are steering the course of events, doing horrifying things so glibly, so fucking nonchalantly, and mixing in untruth so that we don't take it seriously. I'm not okay with the way in which our government, the United States government, and other governments of the world, because we're not the only ones with this technology, let's be clear about that. I'm not okay with massive brainwashing on a global scale. I'm not okay with sitting down and taking it anymore. Because it's not okay. It's a problem. Okay? So let's wake up one day. We're going to see the forest for the trees. We're not going to be so hung up on our differences anymore, because the things that we all have in common, just a few things. It's a really short list, you guys. It's easy to remember. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Safe, warm, dry, fed. Feel like we belong. Feel loved. Feel like we did something important with our lives. That's a really short list of things. But let me tell you, I bet I'd probably stake my life and my reputation on it. That each one of those things has a huge impact on how you experience reality. Each one of those things probably shapes your consciousness and your identity in some way, in a big way. Even though they are few, they might hold more weight than all of the ways, the beautiful, wonderful, sacred, beautiful, really, really awesome ways that we are all different. The ways that we should know about and celebrate and love in each other because it makes us so fucking beautiful. But in these ways that I have listed for you, I guarantee it, we are all the same thing. Different iterations of something blessed and divine that is wasting away, rolling through life on training wheels called shame and evil. We don't need them anymore. They've got a bunch of us really fucking confused about what we're doing here. Shame has been telling us for too long now that we don't deserve to know how to do better. And when you shame something, you force it into a closet. You make it hide and it festers like a cancer. That doesn't make anything better. People who are ashamed find others who are ashamed. People who are ashamed hold their shame as the most sacred thing in their lives. I'm relatively shameless. Nothing wrong with that. Because I'm shameless, okay? I'm not showing you anything inappropriate. But shame tells you that you don't get to know any better. You don't deserve to know any better. And if you don't feel like you get to know or do any better, then you're going to find other people who feel the same way, and you're going to find some way of belonging. You might get into your head twisted notion that kill or be killed. Do it to them before they do it to me. It was done to me, so I might as well just perpetuate the cycle. Stop it. That's not the right way. That's wrong. We all die for that. Maybe you're so ashamed of what you think is inescapable, unhealable, untransformable, doom, that you want to drag everyone down with you. Maybe you're so sick and twisted in the head that you just want to revel in the filth and degradation of what you have identified with now, your most sacred thing, your shame. And I'm telling you that there's another way. Okay, you don't have to stay with that, because that way drags everyone down. And we don't all want to do that, okay? And we don't all deserve that. You don't deserve it. And whoever told you that you were shameful, they were wrong. Because shame is a lie. It's an evolutionary dead end. It doesn't take us anywhere good, okay? Bet we all want to feel good, right? Everyone wants to feel good. And there's some healthier ways to get there, feeling good, and there's some unhealthy ways to get there to feeling good. Generally, I'll say that, don't let your feel good make other people feel bad or hurt them. Okay, that's not a good thing to do. It's bad. Okay, it doesn't work for us. But you do deserve to know better, and you do deserve better. Okay? Get help. There's help, okay? There is help. Nobody gets through this alone, and you don't have to either. And if someone's not offering you help, then just go the other way, okay? Until it's safer to do so. I think that we can get there. What I have heard, this is a long video. What I have heard is that there's always time to heal. What I have experienced is that time itself, space, will warp itself around the decision to heal. I can't explain it. There's a lot of things I can't explain, but I will explain these things to you, though. What I have said already, I am explaining that. We have all the time that we need to heal, because it is a form of consciously engaging with our own divinity. It is a way of consciously embodying our birthrights. if you like to read the Bible, if you're into what it says, a lot of people aren't, and frankly, I'm not the biggest fan. Sorry about it. Not sorry, okay? I was raised with it. It has shaped who I am. And I'm proud of who I am, okay? There's a lot of beauty there. There's a lot of truth. And there's a lot of omissions. Important ones. Things that were left out. Things that we all should have heard. Things that are very clear if you know where to look for them. If you look within, if you listen to whatever piece of you is connected to whatever it is, that big, beautiful question mark in the sky, that I don't know what, but it's there. And it's connected to us. And it moves through my life in a way that I don't understand, and I don't need to understand to know that it's there. The big question mark in the sky. I really love that big question mark. Okay, what the heck is that? What on earth and every other conceivable realm is that big question mark that is in the sky and sticking out through my heart and everyone around me? Okay? Call that agnosticism. Call that mysticism. I like to call it mysticism. Okay? But call it whatever you want to call it, because you can't tell me it's not there. When I've seen it and lived it, I'm living it now. It's there, okay? Whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Ask quantum physics, okay? It knows. But we're not experts on that shit yet. Well, we could be, because our family's here too, and they want us to know these things, but we can't handle it yet, okay? We can't even handle it if they popped out to say, hey guys, we're here. We've been here. Oh, whoa, stop it with the nukes, you guys. Come on, put those away. Because they've been doing that for a long time, okay? Look up all the UFO sightings that happen near U.S. military bases that have nukes. Highly concentrated sightings around nuclear weapons. How many people in the military who are transporting these things all around the country, you know, all the time? They're traveling all around in semis and shit, and you don't even know it. You could be driving on the highway right now next to a nuclear armed weapon, and you don't even know it, because it's real. That's what happens, okay? My brother was in the military. He experienced something like this, okay? He experienced coming 2 hours later, far away from where he was supposed to be going, with no idea how he got there. Maybe you've heard a friend talk about how the same 20 cars have been following him around all night. Maybe you've heard other friends talk about how they woke up from a trance-like state, far away from where they intended to go, and no idea how they got there. What if these stories are connected? Because I'm telling you they are. Nobody's keeping track of how many people experience road hypnosis. And believe me, your friends who are feeling gang-stalked, they're pretty fucking embarrassed to talk about it, because they don't want to be stigmatized with insanity for something that is factual, okay? I wrote it on my arm in brown ink, so you can't really see it that well right now, but I said it very clearly at the beginning-ish of this last segment of video, okay? U.S. patent U.S. 6470214 B1/EN. That's on https patents.google.com/patent/US 6470214B1/EN. Okay. Technology that exists, it's factual. This is a fact that this technology exists. It is a fact that, yes, someone does have the time and energy to do this, to single out every individual who would challenge these things by merely existing, and single out anyone who is a threat to the system of subjugation, to the systems of subjugation, of which many or all of us have been complacent, compliant, and cooperative. How about not anymore? I do not comply. I do not consent to having my thoughts monitored before my brain can even process them. I do not consent to what I see being read and analyzed by a computer program so that can perfect this process of stealing consciousness from humanity, of privatizing it, of taking away our very willpower, of snatching the divinity right out of your very skulls and souls and basically using us like batteries. No, that's not real. It's in a movie called The Matrix. Have you heard of soft disclosure? Have you seen the pictures of the Pope's audience hall in Vatican City? I've studied the Bible. I was raised with it, okay? So I'm going to use it a little bit more, okay? But we're the children of God. What do children grow up to be like? Their parents. So if I'm a child of God, that means that some part of me is inherently divine. And I don't mean a shit-eating drag queen, although there too, okay? Because there go I in another body, in another form of consciousness, in a different radio frequency in a skull, okay? On a different part of time. But quantum physics says time is nonlinear, and that's true, and we're just having a linear experience of time, and that is a whole bunch of science that I can't really explain, but I can tell you I've experienced it. Because December 22nd last year, I got shot in the head, and I am so freaking lucky, you guys, okay? Let's go look at the subpoena on my refrigerator so I can show you that someone attempted to murder me, okay? Trial subpoena, information, okay? That happened. I'm not lying. I'm super fucking lucky. And when the court-appointed advocate called me one morning to let me know they had finally apprehended the man who shot me, the bullet just grazing the side of my head, in the moment he fired the gun at me, I looked at him. And if I hadn't looked in that moment, it would have blown off the back of my skull. If I hadn't been wearing a bandana, a hat, and a scarf over my head, it would have crushed my temple. Literally this close to having my head blown off. So the advocate called me to let me know that just that morning they gotten him in custody. 3 days later, the detective called me to say, hey, Kevin, guess what? We got him just this morning. You do the math. There's a discrepancy there, isn't there? Okay. I can't explain it, but I will tell you that I did talk to the court advocate afterwards, and I said, looking at my call history with her on the phone with me, and said, hey, you're telling me the truth, right? That's the morning when you called me? Yeah. And she's like, yeah, that's what. Okay, so the detective, he called me. He wouldn't lie to me. No, the detective would not lie to you about such things. So then what? I don't know how to explain that, Mr. O'Neill. I still have my call history on my phone, so if you all need me to fact check this for you, I will. But time is not linear, okay? I'm standing here talking to you as a time traveler, and I didn't have to do anything. There's no special machine, no nothing. Just time just moved around me. So when I tell you that Mother, the Earth, told me one day when I was in some form of crisis that there was enough time for us to heal, but not a lot of time for bullshit. That time and space will wrap itself around our true decision to take our trauma and call it into consciousness and make things better. I tell you, all of you who are ashamed, all of you who see the evil in the world, and maybe you identify with it, maybe you have internalized it, maybe you revel in it, please don't. That's not the way. That is not, it's not the way, dude. Okay? I'm sorry those things happened to you. Really, I am. They happened to me too. My first memory on this planet is not a pleasant one, okay? I'm not out here enacting my trauma on innocent lives. And I'm not out here telling people who can't help how they feel that they should die just for feeling that way. Because they're wounded. Because it happened to them. And the human mind can only handle that kind of thing in so many ways. And I am so grateful that mine chose this way. Because if we don't do something different about that kind of thing, the ruination of innocent lives, if we don't do something about that differently, because let me tell you, the people who run the world right now, they like to eat baby brains, okay? They like to torture children, get all of that unbesmirched adrenaline into the system, and then ritually sacrifice the poor soul. And then they eat it, the brain. And from what I heard, it's like, really great high. Thanks, Hunter S. Thompson, for letting us know what adrenochrome felt like, okay? Because the serpent said to Eve, when shown the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the serpent says, eat, and you shall know as God knows, and you shall feel as God feels. What could she have done? Plucked a fruit off of an apple tree? Apple, the fruit of knowledge. Soft disclosure? Apple computers? Apple. I'm on an iPhone right now. Thanks, guys. But the secret is this. If our spinal column is like the trunk of a tree, and the roots are our lower extremities, and our upper extremities are like the limbs of a tree, then the fruit of the tree should surely be, ding, in here. That lovely pattern that's repeated in our neurological system, our vascular system, in the bodies of water that stretch across the globe, and the electricity that comes up out of the ground and stretches into the clouds and back down the same way. The answer's right there, okay? Zap! I would say anyone who did something like that might get cast out of paradise, whether by a benevolent deity or just by the sheer knowledge of what one had done when the high wore off. I imagine that's what Cain did to Abel. Wasn't there something about blood sacrifice in that part of the book? Abel's sacrifice was not worthy, and Cain's was, etc. I don't know, but these are some really strong ideas that I have. And the thing that I'm going to fall back on is that I think one day we could all wake up and everything could be different. It's really not that likely, honestly. I really don't think that it's likely this would happen. But I hope, like Pandora, opening a giant cosmic can of worms, and all of the woes of the world poured out. Terrible things, horrors untold and known, monsters, men, terrible things, insanities, all of it, all of the woes of the world poured out of that box. And the only thing left, that she got to reach down into the darkness and pull out the single light of hope. Don't give up hope. Okay? If you have the light of hope inside of you, let it shine. Share it. Maybe it'll catch. I hope so. Okay. There's a lot here to unpack for a lot of people, and this is definitely not a refined message, but it's a message. Maybe someone can take this and dilute it into something a little bit more digestible. If that's you, please do it. I don't care if I'm the face of whatever it is I'm telling you, but I don't care showing my face to tell you, because it's not about me. if this works somehow and I get killed tomorrow for saying this and posting it on the internet, but it makes things better, then I don't want that, but I will accept that and be glad for it. Drama queen, whatever. Okay, but like, seriously, guys. One day we could wake up and everything would be different. We just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want this to be the way that things are. I don't want the ones who are driving the ship for all of fucking humanity to be in the Epstein files. I'm glad that we know what's in the Epstein files. But let's believe it, okay? Because like that shit is disgusting, foul, and real. Let's stop denying it, okay? That happens. That's what's happening, okay? And they laugh at us about it. Because in their eyes, we're just cattle. We're just batteries. We're just a waste of a divine spark. Okay, there's a Buddha for when violence is the answer. There is a Buddha. You know about Buddhism, right? It's like this super duper Zen. Sometimes it's a very calm, peaceful, meditative way. It's a philosophy, right? That was brought to us by a messenger who wanted to teach us about human suffering and how we choose that for ourselves and how to be released from suffering and how to evolve up out of that suffering with detachment. It's a lovely message. And there is a Buddha for when violence is the right course of action, because you can't fix a broken system with a broken system. You can't stop violent people with nonviolence. Okay? Maybe there's a way. And it's not easy, okay? You can't. Shout out to that one queen in San Francisco for sticking the daisy in the rifle barrel. That's some good work. Okay, here's my daisy and rifle barrel. All right, I love me. And in doing so, I love all of you too. Because we are all connected. And those people out there who are so misguided that they think that evil is the way to do things, I love them too. And this is my way of loving them. Stop it! Guys, cut it out. That's not good for anybody, not you either. It might feel good, but that's just not the way. Stop it. Okay? And it's on all of us, to make it better, to reclaim meaning, to stop the theft of consciousness right out from our very bodies and minds. This is a problem, and it is happening. It is the goal of those who would subjugate all of humanity, to steal the very sanctity of your mind from you, to program every thought you'll ever have or be capable of having. I'm serious. This is the plan currently, but it's not my plan. And I don't think it's yours either if you're watching this, or if you've given me the last 39 minutes and 6 seconds plus, because this is just the second part of the video. Anyway. Get it together, humans. Let's do this. It'll be awesome, okay? But right now it sucks. We need to do something to change that. We can do it. And in some ways it's already happened, and I'm so flipping grateful, you guys. We can do this. We have to do this. We can do this, okay? And the deeper we go, the easier it gets. The less resistance we have, the more we will have a resistance.